Hello, this is Gundam UK, and this is my next work in progress series. And the kit I have chosen to build this time is the Crossbone Gundam X1 Ver.Ka Master Grade from Bandai, of course. And what I plan to do with this kit is just do it straight out of the box. Maybe take a look at adding a bit more detail, maybe some metallic parts here and there. And I'm going to paint it in different colours to what's here on the box, but that is to be decided. So without further ado, let's get this open and take a look inside. Okay, and what we have here, we have a cape. It's definitely the first kit that I'm going to do that has a cape. I'm probably not going to use that, to be honest. I think it looks a bit rubbish, but we'll attach it and we'll see how it looks, I guess. So here is a runner. Some very interesting kind of sort of curved piratey style effect pieces. Looks to be about the same size as the F91 that I did last time. I know it's set kind of after that time period in lore, I believe. The runner's there. I have some stickers here by the looks of it, which I am probably not going to use. I have in fact already picked up some decals here. These are the official Bandai ones, so I'll be definitely using these, of course. Let's have a look. Some more runners. Doesn't look overly complicated. Pretty much a straightforward Ver.Ka style master grade. Interesting long chain thingy here. Okay, we have some wire or piping here. Not entirely sure what that's for. I guess it'll be the fun finding that out. And of course here is a manual. I do like this kind of scar effect that it has on the eyes here. And, let's have a quick gander, quick flick through. Oh, there it is with the cape. Yeah, it does look a little bit silly. I do actually have the full cloth version of this, the non-Ver.Ka version. I was going to do that, but then I thought I really fancy doing something more sort of angular, more Ver.Ka-esque, as it were. So I opted for this. It's not a very thick manual. Looks like it's not going to be an overly complicated or very long build, that's for sure. Probably do it in a couple of days, we'll see how it goes. So, without further ado, I guess let's get all of these runners out of the bag and start working on assembling this kit. So here is the kit now assembled, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun kit. It's got quite a lot going on. There's a few parts that I'm a little bit annoyed with, especially here in the in these kind of back bone thingamajiggies. There's lots of holes here, which I don't particularly like. It's like they couldn't be bothered to fill it out with plastic, which is a little bit annoying. So I think I'm going to need to fill those in, definitely with a bit of putty and sand it down a bit. Other than that, yeah, really enjoyed the build. It's definitely got similarities to, say, the original F91, the version 1. It's definitely quite similar to the Victory Gundam 2, especially in the leg assembly. It has these two parts that kind of slot into each other in a kind of a strange way, but I guess you'll see that when I take it apart later on. So I've been just giving some thought to the colours that I'm going to apply to this kit. I mean, I was going to do something a bit more customised. Instead I decided to do something that's just a bit more detailed than the out-of-box stock colours. So I'm going to just go with the usual Mr. Colour GX for the whites, and I'm going to use Mr. Colour Light Grey on some parts as well, just to provide a bit of contrast in the white armour parts. For the inner frame I've chosen a burnt iron, really because I just want to try it out, and a darker mix of neutral grey that I've made up before. It's kind of like 2 shades darker than neutral grey, put it that way. It's this colour here. For the yellows, pre-shade with a orange yellow and yellow, obviously. For the red parts, I'm going to use this Blood Red 2, and that's one of the Mr. Colour 40th anniversary colours. For the blues, I'm just going with a straight navy blue. I might just pre-shade that with a bit of black. We'll see how that goes. For the gun, I'm going to be using a little bit of whole red, and I'll show you the gun here. Because it's kind of piratey, I'm going to make this front barrel part look a little bit wooden, the same as this part here. And I'm going to do these detail parts in gold, Mr. Colour Gold. I really enjoy this. This is such a nice gold. I really take a lot of pleasure in using that. So it's going to be a mixture of gold, this whole red, some whites and light greys again, just to bring out some nice details that are present on this weapon. Again, for the knives, these parts here, probably burnt iron again, I'm not sure, maybe silver. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes I'll change my mind halfway through doing a build and opt for a different colour, but we'll see how it goes. Well, you'll see how it goes in this work in progress anyway. There are a few optional parts. The chest has this skull on it, and the lower part of the chest has the crossbones on it. Undecided as to whether I will use these chest pieces or the blank chest pieces. If I use the blank chest pieces, then I can get away with using a nice detailed decal, which I'll show you. It's going to be this crossbone insignia here. If I don't use that, then I will use, of course, the skull and crossbones chest. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look over the kit and see where I can add in a little bit more detail. I've spotted here there's a kind of a bit of a screw head type thing detail here. I might actually bore that out and replace it with maybe a metal part. We'll see if I can find something to fit in there. I'm going to add maybe I'm going to drill a few holes here and there just to add some rivet details, maybe on some armor pieces. The thing is, the scale of this kit's a little bit different to an ordinary master grade, of course, because it's set far in the future of UC, so the mobile suits are a lot smaller. So I'm not sure how rivets will look. It might look a bit too big, I'm not sure. Might have to do a bit of experimentation. I've also spotted on the shoulders here, you can see these little thruster parts. That's going to be quite difficult to paint without hand painting it. So I'm either going to drill out holes where these thrusters are and insert some IC pins for some thruster detail, or I might just drill out the whole thing and create a backing plate, paint that something separate and then stick it underneath, but that might be quite fiddly because these parts are rather small. But yeah, again, we'll see how that goes. So I've just started work on the weapons and the core fighter, and as you can see I have just primed everything here in black and white, and over here the blue pieces are grey. So the next thing I'm going to do is paint some metallics maybe on these inside bits here, and maybe some greys on these ones. Over here make these thrusters metallic, and maybe these white pieces I'm just going to add a base coat of white. And over here I've just added some putty to these holes, these horrible holes on the back of the crossbones, and I'm going to have to wait a day or so for that to cure, and then I'm going to sand that back and make it nice and flat. So I've done a little bit more paint work. As you can see, I've now metalliced up these thrusters here. Also done the base grey coat over here, and hand painted in a little bit of detail here on the back of the crossbones. Done a little bit of fairly intricate masking here around the edge. There's quite high contrast on camera. Looks almost black, but it's actually a whole red. Also masked off some parts of the main gun here. I'm actually going to mask it off again, so this bar that reaches around is in gold. And that's about it for me for now. Remember to please hit subscribe if you are interested in what I'm doing. Your support is always much appreciated, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.